Pennsylvania, a state with over 13 million residents. Yet, in its vast central region, spanning 62% of the state's land, you'll find some counties with as few as 35 people per square mile. Why is such a massive part of this populous state nearly empty? Long before European settlers arrived, the indigenous peoples of Pennsylvania, the Lenape and Susquehannock, and other tribes, had mastered life in these challenging landscapes. They created successful settlements along the region's rivers and valleys, developing sophisticated trading networks that connected the Atlantic coast to the Great Lakes. But today's population distribution tells a very different story. While Philadelphia's metropolitan area teems with over 6 million people, and Pittsburgh anchors the West with nearly 2.4 million residents, much of central Pennsylvania remains remarkably unchanged from its frontier days. The answer to this puzzling distribution begins with Pennsylvania's dramatic geography. The state is essentially split by the Appalachian Mountains, creating a natural barrier that has historically made east-to-west travel and commerce challenging. The ridge and valley region, dominating much of central Pennsylvania, consists of parallel mountain ridges and narrow valleys that run northeast to southwest. This corrugated landscape made it difficult to establish large settlements or develop efficient transportation networks. But here's what makes this situation truly fascinating. Why hasn't modern technology and infrastructure overcome these natural barriers? After all, we've built thriving cities in deserts, on frozen tundra, and even in earthquake zones. The truth lies in a perfect storm of geographic isolation, historical development patterns, and economic forces that have shaped Pennsylvania's growth for over 3 centuries. Consider the case of Centralia, perhaps the most extreme example of central Pennsylvania's challenges. Once a thriving coal mining town, it has been almost completely abandoned due to an underground mine fire that has been burning since 1962. While Centralia's story is unique, it symbolizes the broader challenges that have faced many central Pennsylvania communities. The boom and bust cycle of resource extraction, the limitations of geography, and the struggle to build sustainable economies in isolated areas. Let's look at how geography created a natural divide in Pennsylvania's development. While Philadelphia and Pittsburgh grew into major urban centers thanks to their strategic locations on navigatable waterways, the Delaware and Ohio rivers respectively, central Pennsylvania's waterways weren't as accommodating. The Susquehanna River, though impressive in size, was too shallow and rocky for reliable commercial navigation. Its tributaries, filled with rapids and falls, made water transport nearly impossible. This meant that while other regions could easily ship goods and attract commerce, central Pennsylvania's communities remained relatively isolated. The region's transportation challenges didn't end with its rivers. When railroad companies began laying track in the 19th century, they found themselves facing a daunting task. The parallel ridges of the Appalachians forced them to either follow winding valleys or undertake expensive tunneling projects. The famous Horseshoe Curve near Altoona, built in 1854, exemplifies the extraordinary measures needed just to maintain basic east-west connections. While this engineering marvel helped connect the state, it didn't solve the fundamental problem of regional isolation. But there's another crucial factor that kept this region sparsely populated: the nature of its early industries. Central Pennsylvania was rich in natural resources, particularly coal, timber, and iron ore. However, instead of fostering permanent urban growth, these industries often created boom and bust cycles that left communities vulnerable. Take the lumber industry, for example. In the late 1800s, the region experienced a logging boom that stripped its ancient forests. Towns sprouted up overnight, but once the timber was gone, many simply disappeared, leaving behind nothing but ghost towns and scarred landscapes. The coal industry followed a similar pattern. While coal mining brought waves of immigrants and temporary prosperity to many central Pennsylvania communities, it didn't create the kind of stable, diverse economy needed for sustained urban growth. Instead, it left behind a legacy of environmental challenges, including acid mine drainage, subsidence issues, and in extreme cases like Centralia, underground mine fires that continue to burn decades later. The history of resource extraction rather than manufacturing played a crucial role in the region's development. While Pittsburgh became a steel-making powerhouse and Philadelphia diversified into manufacturing, finance, and commerce, central Pennsylvania's economy remained largely focused on pulling resources from the ground. When these resources began to deplete or become less economically viable, many communities struggled to reinvent themselves. Even agriculture, which might seem like a natural alternative, faced significant challenges in central Pennsylvania. The region's topography limited the amount of suitable farmland, and what was available often consisted of small, irregular plots tucked between mountain ridges. This made it difficult to develop the kind of large-scale, profitable farming operations that sustained other parts of rural America. Think about what this meant for population growth. While Philadelphia and Pittsburgh attracted waves of immigrants with diverse job opportunities and urban amenities, central Pennsylvania's communities could only offer work in mines, lumber camps, and small-scale farming. When these industries declined, there was little to keep people from moving elsewhere. The 20th century brought new challenges that further cemented this pattern. The rise of the automobile age might have seemed like an opportunity to overcome this region's isolation, but the same geographic barriers that complicated railroad construction made highway building equally challenging. Interstate 80 crosses the state's northern tier, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike to the south skirts around the most rugged parts of central Pennsylvania. This left many communities in the middle still relatively isolated from the major transportation corridors. Meanwhile, the shift from a resource-based to a service-based economy hit central Pennsylvania particularly hard. Without the educational institutions, healthcare facilities, and diverse business bases found in major urban areas, the region struggled to attract new industries and retain young talent. The brain drain became a serious issue as college graduates and skilled workers left for better opportunities in bigger cities. The numbers tell a striking story. Take Clinton County in the heart of central Pennsylvania. It has just 37 people per square mile. Compared to Philadelphia County's 11,000, Potter County, Pennsylvania's most sparsely populated, has only 13 people per square mile across its 1,081 square miles. That's about the same population density as parts of Nevada or Wyoming. But the modern era has brought both new challenges and unexpected opportunities to central Pennsylvania. The rise of remote work during the pandemic led some to predict a population boom in these less developed areas. After all, if you can work from anywhere, why not choose a place with lower living costs, beautiful landscapes, and a slower pace of life? However, the reality has proven more complex. The lack of robust digital infrastructure has become a major hurdle. While urban areas enjoy high-speed fiber internet, many parts of central Pennsylvania struggle with limited broadband access. Climate change has added another layer of complexity to the region's challenges. Central Pennsylvania's forested mountains are crucial to the state's ecosystem, acting as important watersheds and carbon sinks. But these same forests face increasing threats from extreme weather events, invasive species, and changing precipitation patterns. Healthcare access has emerged as another critical issue. As rural hospitals struggle financially, many have closed or consolidated, leaving significant gaps in medical care. Some residents of central Pennsylvania now face drives of an hour or more to reach the nearest hospital, a particular concern given the region's aging population. Yet amidst these challenges, there are signs of resilience and adaptation. Take State College, home to Penn State University, which has bucked the trend of regional decline. The presence of a major research university has created a pocket of growth and innovation in the heart of central Pennsylvania. Some smaller communities are finding creative ways to reinvent themselves. Jim Thorpe, once a declining coal town, has transformed into a tourist destination, capitalizing on its Victorian architecture and outdoor recreation opportunities. Belafonte, with its historic downtown and proximity to State College, has attracted remote workers and small businesses looking for affordable alternatives to bigger cities. However, perhaps the most interesting development is how central Pennsylvania's emptiness has become an asset. In an increasingly crowded and urbanized world, large tracts of undeveloped land have growing value for conservation, recreation, and even national security. The future of central Pennsylvania likely won't involve massive urban development or population booms. Instead, it might follow a different path, one that values preservation over development, quality of life over rapid growth, and sustainability over exploitation.